we want to verify the identity cotangent of x plus tangent of x equals secant of x times cosecant of x using a two-column proof. So on one side we need statements, on the other side reasons, and our first reason is always given. So our first statement, we want to start with the more complicated side of the identity. So we'll start with cotangent of x plus tangent of x. And we want to end at the bottom with the other side, the secant of x times the cosecant of x. That's where we're headed. We won't know our reason for that last step until we get down to the bottom there. So if we know we want to end up with secants and cosecants, those are the reciprocal of cosine and sine. So let's start by using quotient identities to rewrite cotangent and tangent in terms of sines and cosines. So cotangent is the cosine of x divided by the sine of x, and tangent is the sine divided by the cosine. And the reason we could use those substitutions were quotient identities. Okay, now if I want to combine those fractions, I'm going to need a common denominator. So I'm going to find the least common denominator by multiplying the first fraction by cosine over cosine. And then I'm going to multiply my second fraction by sine over sine. So now I have a common denominator of cosine times sine. So I'm going to go ahead and add my fractions. So I add cosine times cosine is cosine squared, plus sine times sine is sine squared, and that's over my common denominator, cosine times sine. Sine squared x plus cosine squared x is 1 using a Pythagorean identity. So that leaves me with 1 over cosine of x times sine of x. And I can separate that one fraction into two fractions. So I'm going to rewrite this as 1 over the cosine of x times 1 over the sine of x. That's equivalent to 1 over the product cosine times sine. And that brings me down to what I wanted, which was secant of x times cosecant of x using reciprocal identities. 1 over cosine equals secant, and 1 over sine equals cosecant. So my reason for my last step is reciprocal identities. And then we verified that identity.